I understand that everyone is interested in food preservation to some extent, maybe. And I laid out a bunch of books that we have here. I haven't done much shopping. Oh, I forgot the other book that I have. There's another book out called Put 'em Up, and it's pretty creative. I have that in the barn there. Yeah, so that's a newer one that's pretty good. And then there's another Sandor Katz book out. He's the one that does the wild fermentation. He has the art of fermentation. That's a newer book, and it's very thick and very comprehensive, all about fermentation. I thought we'd do a couple of different things if folks are up for it. I don't know what. I'm sure some of you have done varying degrees of preservation before, and I am no expert. I've just learned by reading recipes and trying it out and seeing what happens. And I've had some not so successful canning operations, but most of the time things go pretty well as long as you follow just the structures for especially boiling water bath canning. It's good to follow the instructions there. So right now in superabundance are string beans and cucumbers, and so it's always figuring out what to do with them. I've already done a bunch of sort of like dilly bean type of things. We could do a few more pickles, so I was thinking of maybe doing a blanching and freezing process with some of these beans. And then we can try making just a saltwater brine pickle just in the crock. And then we'll just do a canned pickle and maybe throw some beans in there too, making a mixed bag of something. Pickles, pickled pickles, whatever. Are people up for doing hands-on, or do people have upfront questions right away, or things that in particular you want to know right off the bat?
How do you know pickling failed? You get sick after you eat it 6 months later?
Well, usually when I say that, it's usually during the process. Something happens, maybe the jar doesn't seal or the jar breaks. I haven't really I've had a fermentation failures.
What's happened with those? How do you know?
It's over fermented. Something happened, or I added maybe a seasoning that made it not gel so well. So there's maybe extra fizzing that is beyond really what you want to taste.
Right. But upon taste, you can tell.
Yeah. I've had not so good canning experience sometimes with tomatoes. And that was mainly I was experimenting with using the wire-rimmed jars like this and the rubber rings. And because it's really important when you're using the canners like this, or the lids like this, to the two-part lids. It's really important to use new lids. I have reused lids before, but I was pretty soon convinced that it's probably not a good idea because you're not going to get the best seal again.
Right.
And that's the important
seal
part.
To break it when you open the jar. You kind of got to bend that lid to get the seal to break.
Yeah, or even when you look at this rubber part, it's been formed to the rim of the jar.
Right.
But so I tried doing the wire band, and a couple of the jars were not successful, and that's because this part of if this is not in just the right adjustment, then it's not going to clamp down the glass cap in the proper way. So unless you know that your jars have never ever been, the wire band jars have never ever been used, or like that kind of thing, then give it a try. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I think people still do it, but I wouldn't do it anymore. It's not worth, for the amount that we put up, it's not worth it. So we just buy brand new lids.
You can reuse the threaded part. You just can't
Yeah,
use
this
the
you
blade.
can reuse
Right.
up to until sometimes they'll start to get rusty. I wouldn't, allow for too much rust. Just toss them. We started using our used ones for marking our trails. Woods. Find ways to use them, maybe. Wind chimes. I don't know. Mobiles. Yeah. Why not? Any other things to start off?